Although I might be called crazy in the comment section down below, I might get dislikes on this video, I'm very confident my price target for $100 per share by the end of 2021. I will not waver on that. You guys can come back here at the end of the year and either congratulate me or give me a bunch of crap if I am way off. Again, I'm not a financial advisor.
Well, I said to do it, so give me crap in the comment section down below. I probably deserve it. And on a side note, if you're feeling generous, please also include what you feel 2022 is going to bring for CleanSpark shareholders, because towards the end of this video, I'll be revisiting my spreadsheet and updating my price target for next year in 2022. And I want to hear from all of you what your opinions are on 2022 and how it will treat shareholders of CleanSpark. So please comment that in addition to giving me crap down below. Just a side note about me being wrong, I'm a public figure. People like to put words in my mouth, and they forget about the stipulations that I set forth in order to reach that $100 price target. So although I wasn't technically wrong about my price target of $100, I was way wrong about the stipulations I set forth in order to reach that $100 price target. One of those stipulations was that the market for small caps would recover throughout 2021. Obviously, that did not happen. The second stipulation I set forth for the $100 price target was that the price of Bitcoin would meet or exceed $100,000 by the end of the year. Obviously, that stipulation was not met either. So again, although I wasn't technically wrong about my price target, I was wrong about the stipulations. As a matter of fact, I was so confident in these stipulations that I put $20,000 on the line on CleanSpark call options to reach $60 per share by the end of January of 2022. I made an entire video dedicated to this and the potential profit I would realize as a result of buying those call options. I know there have been a lot of questions about what happened to those call options, so I'll be giving you guys a public update here in this video as well. Updating you guys on those call options is what I'm going to be discussing first, followed by a review of the management team and what I feel they can improve on going into 2022. And then lastly, I will be giving that updated price target for CleanSpark for the year of 2022, aka next year. So there's a lot to look forward to in this video. But first of all, if you guys are new here or returning and not yet subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate you hitting that subscribe button down below. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into this. The very short and to the point explanation of what happened to these call options is that I sold them on August 17th for around 23 cents per contract. I immediately updated my Discord members, but I never really made a public video, which is why I understand there is some confusion out there in my community on whether I still hold these or what exactly happened to these call options. The reason I sold these call options isn't necessarily because I lost confidence in CleanSpark's ability to hit $60 by the third week of January. It had to do more with the opportunity for me to offset some of my capital gains. For example, I put $20,000 into these call options, and if they paid off, I would have been a millionaire, to put it simply. But because they didn't pay off, I instead get to offset $20,000 of capital gains. So this was a win-win scenario for me. One scenario, I become a millionaire. The second scenario, I get to offset some capital gains, which I had a lot of in 2021. Unfortunately, the call options didn't work out, and I might have screwed up that second situation, because about 2 weeks later, I actually sold puts of CleanSpark. I made a big mistake, and that likely triggered a wash sale, which may end up preventing me from offsetting the capital gains via the $20,000 capital loss or whatever it ended up being. So unfortunately, what was supposed to be a win-win situation for me turned into a lose-lose more than likely, because I'm still more than likely going to have to pay all the taxes on my capital gains, whilst also losing that $20,000 that I put into these call options. However, it's important to note that the $20,000 I put into these call options was entirely money I was willing to lose. I made that very clear when I made the public video on these call options. This was gamble money to me that I was willing to lose, which is why I'm not super upset about it. I was prepared to lose it all, so despite me not being able to use it to offset capital gains, I'm okay with it because I was okay with it in the first place. I also think I should take this opportunity to remind you that I am not a financial advisor. I do not want any of you blindly following what I am doing, because I know there were people out there that put money into these call options that they weren't willing to lose just because I put money into them. And in the end, they're really hurting right now because of that. I never want you guys to blindly follow what I'm doing. And the bottom line is, with call options, generally you don't want to put money into them that you're not willing to lose, because most call options expire worthless. It's a fact. The last note I want to leave on this point is a little bit of self-promotion. Unlike so many other YouTubers that have stopped uploading or even just ran away from the markets, I don't run away from the things I say on YouTube or the perks I provide for my members. I am always there for my community, and if you're a paid member, you always have access to me and all of the perks you paid for previously. The bottom line is the market fluctuates, and I actually predicted several months ago that many YouTubers would stop uploading stock market content as soon as the markets didn't go their way. And guess what happened? There is case after case after case of stock market YouTubers abandoning their community, abandoning uploading videos, and all of this happened as the markets fell and decided not to go in their favor anymore. So I'm going to sit here in this chair right now and predict this. As the markets rebound in 2022, guess what's going to happen? Those YouTubers are going to come back. They're going to start uploading videos again. They're going to try and get people to pay for their membership. It's all going to happen again. But I am a YouTuber you can count on through thick and thin, through up and down. If you guys want to join my community, hit the Patreon link down below in the comment section, the pinned comment, or hit the join button located right next to the subscribe button. Without further ado, I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get back into this. Let's discuss now what I feel that the management team could do much better going into 2022. You know, I love CleanSpark. I love their management team, but there's always things people can improve on. And the biggest thing for me is CleanSpark needs to start meeting their deadlines. Whether that's their SEC filings being delayed, they need to meet that deadline. It's how you grow as a company. It's how you get investors to trust you. Another example of a deadline the management team needs to meet in 2022 is all of their projection and guidance deadlines for minor deployments, revenue, you name it. They need to meet deadlines in order to gain investor trust. They need to get back to the principle of under-promising and over-delivering. I know 2021 was filled with supply chain constraints and things that the management team had to battle, and it's a new management team to the public markets, so you have to give them somewhat of a break here. But in 2022, they don't have an excuse. Get back to the under-promising and the over-delivering. It will benefit the share price tremendously. Trust me. If this means the management team needs to put out lower guidance and lower projections for 2022 than previously anticipated, so be it. You need to do it. The second thing I want this management team to improve on in 2022 is dilution. They need to continue to minimize their dilution. I know that a better market fixes everything. You won't have to dilute as much if your share price is higher, but you need to limit dilution. One thing that's separating you from all these other Bitcoin mining companies is your share count, your outstanding share count. Most, if not all other miners have over 100 million shares outstanding, and you have well under 50 million shares outstanding. It will be beneficial to shareholders if you avoid dilution. I understand that you need cash to grow as a business, but other vehicles need to be used other than just straight up share dilution. For example, I really want to see the management team utilize debt. Secure a loan for $100 million or more, rather than diluting shareholders with $100 million worth of shares. Another thing I want to see them continue to do is sell some of their Bitcoin to raise cash rather than dilute shareholders. There's other vehicles and instruments they can use other than dilution, and if they can keep their share count lower than 50 million or 60 million in 2022, it's just going to benefit shareholders so much, and CleanSpark will be the top performing Bitcoin mining stock in the entire stock market. The lower the float, the more volatile you are, but on the upside, that is explosive for shareholders. As I say this, I also realize that the management team owns a lot of shares themselves, and I'm sure they don't want to dilute more than they have to. This is common sense to them, just as it's common sense to me and you watching this video. They don't want to dilute, and if they can utilize these other instruments to raise cash, I think both the management team and individual shareholders are going to benefit tremendously. The third thing I want the management team to improve on in 2022 is not freaking out. I know there's been talk by the management team about them potentially selling their energy business segment. It seems to me like they want to do this because they don't feel like they're being fairly valued because they're split up into two different business segments. They believe they're being valued more like an energy company rather than a Bitcoin mining company. However, in my personal opinion, and it doesn't mean this is the right thing to do, it's just my opinion that I'm sharing in this video right now, The management team should not sell this other business segment because of the share price. They should sell it because they don't feel they can execute that business segment like they previously thought they would be able to. It shouldn't be share price or valuation related as to why you sell the business segment, because that business segment has so much promise, they have good patents, and they just need to execute there. So don't sell the energy business segment because of the current valuation or the share price. Trust me, if the market recovers, the stock price will also recover. I really highly doubt that the company being involved in microgrids and renewable energy is holding the share price down all that much. And if you can execute on that business segment right alongside the Bitcoin mining business segment, you will be rewarded by Wall Street. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anyways, with both of these items now out of the way, I want to get into my updated price target for 2022. To do that, let's go back to our spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is still accessible to all of the members in my Discord server, but if you have difficulty accessing it, please DM me directly and I will get it figured out for you. However, what we're looking at now on the screen is my price target sheet for 2021, where I basically took my anticipated mining revenue and added my revenue projections for each of the individual energy business segments that CleanSpark has under their belt. As a result of all of these numbers, we basically concluded that CleanSpark could hit $100 per share by the end of 2021. But just to review, I was wrong about the market recovering for small caps, which drastically threw off my revenue multiple, which I even stated could expand to 20 at one point in 2021, but that obviously never happened. And I was also drastically off about the average price of Bitcoin being $100,000. So you can see why our price target got thrown off by those two stipulations not being met. Now, because the management team has expressed interest in divesting of the entire energy business segment, for the 2022 spreadsheet, I have basically zeroed out all of the revenue numbers for each of the individual energy business segments. And instead, we're just going to consider the Bitcoin mining revenue. If the company decides to keep the energy business segment and it succeeds in 2022, then it just adds to this potential price target. I also want to be way more conservative about my average price per Bitcoin. So if we just say we average $50,000 per Bitcoin in 2022, which is on the very low end to say the least, and then we change the average Bitcoin mined per day to 8 from 5, we all of a sudden have a $42 price target for 2022. However, I do think the enthusiasm for small cap and high growth stocks is going to return at least to some degree in 2022, because how could it not? We're pretty much at rock bottom right now. So instead of a 10 revenue multiple, I'm just going to move it up to a 15 revenue multiple. And all of a sudden, we get about a $60 share price. Obviously, if you get access to the spreadsheet, you can play around with it for yourself and change the average price per Bitcoin, for example, or the average Bitcoin mined per day, or even change this revenue multiple to get your share price. But for me, I'm going to stay on the ultra conservative side for now and just say that my price target is somewhere between $40 and $60 for the year of 2022. Obviously, if the price of Bitcoin rockets like it's supposed to in 2022, that changes things dramatically, and I will update you guys here accordingly. But just to review, accounting for some growth in the Bitcoin mining segment, along with some recovery in small caps and high growth names by the market in 2022, and also considering some dilution, my price target for CleanSpark in 2022 lies somewhere between $40 and $60 per share. Again, I will update you guys accordingly as 2022 progresses and we get more information on what the year is going to look like. But anyways, with that, I'm going to end this video here. If you guys enjoyed this, please hit that like button down below. Also, just a reminder to comment what you feel 2022 is going to bring for CleanSpark shareholders, because I'm always curious what my community thinks. I will reply to everybody, so please leave a comment. With that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll be back with a brand new video later this week. Peace out.